Lucy had always noticed the way sound changed inside old European apartments, how footsteps didn't just echo, they wandered. But that first morning in Madrid, what pulled her awake wasn't sound. It was the way a thin beam of light trembled across her wall, flickering as if someone kept passing in front of the window. A stuttering strip of gold, interrupting itself every few seconds. Like a heartbeat that couldn't decide on a rhythm. That trembling light became her first symbol of loneliness, an unstable glow she couldn't control, a reminder that her life felt paused between who she had been at 25 and who she was supposed to become. She lay still, watching it pulse on the wall, and felt the familiar ache of being far from home and closer than ever to herself. The light shivered again, and she whispered into the empty room, as if someone might hear it, "What am I doing here?" Outside, Madrid was noisy and warm, but her room felt cold, the sheets stiff from having been washed too many times. She reached out and traced the trembling light with her fingertips on the wall, a quiet habit she had already developed. The gesture made her chest tighten, as if touching that flicker was the closest she'd come to touching certainty. Lucy Bennett, tall, brunette, with a soft jawline and freckles across her shoulders, had arrived only the night before, dragging 2 suitcases and a heart so anxious it almost felt like another piece of luggage. She was the kind of girl who spoke gently, thought too much, and hid her feelings in long breaths and careful smiles. At home in Boston, people called her thoughtful. But here, in this unfamiliar apartment with terracotta floors and a hallway that smelled faintly of lemon cleaner, thoughtful felt dangerously close to lost. She pushed herself out of bed, her socks sliding on the cool tile, and crossed the small room. The corridor outside was dim, lined with old framed posters of Spanish films, their corners peeling. The apartment had 2 bedrooms, hers, and the other one. The closed door at the end of the hall. Her roommate's door. The one she hadn't opened. The one whose handle she hadn't dared to touch. She had imagined, for a brief moment when the landlord handed her the keys, that maybe she'd wait by the door when the girl arrived. Maybe they'd laugh awkwardly, introduce themselves, share a bottle of cheap Rioja. But reality had a way of folding her inwards, making her shy around new people. She was good at observing from the quiet edges of things. She passed by the closed door now, glancing at it like someone glancing at a stranger across a crowded bar, curious enough to look, not brave enough to linger. Later that afternoon, while unpacking, she noticed something odd on the kitchen table, a mug. Not hers. A simple white ceramic mug with a faint crack running along the rim like a delicate vein. It held the faint smell of chamomile, warm and floral. She lifted it, touching the dried ring inside with her thumb. Someone had used it recently. Someone who had been here before she arrived. Lucy's chest tightened. Maybe she stopped by earlier, she murmured to herself. She tried not to imagine her new roommate's hands around that mug, or the warmth her lips left on the rim. But she did. That evening, Elena, the landlord, sent her a message, "Your roommate arrives tomorrow morning. Her name is Alma." Alma. The name lingered, soft and round, as if made to be whispered. That night, Lucy tossed and turned in her bed, unable to escape the idea of that trembling light on her wall, the closed door down the hall, the chamomile scent that still hung in the kitchen. She finally drifted into sleep just after 2. And that was when she saw her. A woman standing in the same corridor, her back turned, hair black and loosely tied, a few strands brushing the base of her neck. The dream version of the hallway was washed in a warm amber glow, softer than real life. The girl turned slowly, and Lucy saw a face so gentle it felt familiar, high cheekbones, deep brown eyes that carried stories she couldn't read, a mouth that looked like it had been shaped by both laughter and quiet sadness. She looked 25, maybe a touch older. And she looked at Lucy as if she knew her. Before Lucy could speak, the dream rippled, the light flickering violently like it had in her bedroom that morning, and Alma dissolved into it. She woke gasping, reaching for a presence that wasn't there. The trembling light on her wall flickered again. Morning came too fast. Lucy stood in the kitchen, hair messy, wearing an oversized t-shirt, staring at the white mug with the cracked rim. She had washed it the night before, but it still smelled of chamomile. The door clicked open behind her. Footsteps. Soft. Careful. Lucy froze, her breath caught somewhere between her ribs and throat. A suitcase rolled across the entrance tiles. Then a voice, low, warm, slightly raspy, filled the apartment. "Hi, you must be Lucy." Lucy turned, slowly, afraid the dream would vanish if she moved too fast. But it didn't. Alma stood in the doorway, holding the handle of her suitcase with one hand and tucking a loose strand of black hair behind her ear with the other. She wore a cream sweater that fell off one shoulder and washed jeans that hugged her hips. Her eyes, those same deep brown eyes Lucy had seen only hours earlier, met hers with a softness that felt like an echo. She looked exactly like the girl in the dream. Exactly. Lucy swallowed hard. "Hi," she managed, her voice barely above a whisper. Alma smiled, and the room warmed by several degrees. "Sorry if I startled you." I tried to be quiet. "No, it's fine," Lucy said too quickly, accidentally revealing nerves she wished she could hide. Alma set down her suitcase and stepped farther into the room. For a moment, the tremble of light on the kitchen wall caught Alma's hair, turning it copper. Lucy stared without meaning to, struck by the surreal feeling of watching a dream walk into daylight. Then Alma noticed the mug. "Oh, you found that?" she asked, stepping closer. "I left it here last week when I came to drop off my keys. It's silly, but it's my favorite one." Lucy lifted it slightly. "I washed it. I wasn't sure if—" "Thank you," Alma said, voice softening. "Most people wouldn't bother." That gentle gratitude settled between them like warm air. A beat. Then another. Lucy watched Alma's fingers brush the rim of the mug, her touch light, almost reverent. And something inside Lucy responded, a quiet recognition, a small opening. "I like chamomile too," Lucy said before she could think. Alma's gaze lifted, curious. "Really? Not a lot of people our age do. I guess I like things that make me feel steady." Alma's eyes lingered on her, searching. "I get that." Silence folded around them, delicate but charged. Lucy could hear the distant noise of cars outside, the hum of the old refrigerator, her own heartbeat pressing too close to her throat. Alma smelled faintly of citrus and warm air from the street. In that small kitchen with terracotta floors and soft midday light, something unspoken pushed forward, recognition, curiosity, the beginnings of a spark neither of them understood yet. Alma took a step toward her to place the mug in the sink, and Lucy instinctively stepped back, startled by how close their bodies might have brushed. Alma looked up, eyebrows lifting slightly. Not offended, just noticing. Lucy opened her mouth to say something, anything, but the words got stuck. Alma tilted her head, as if she sensed the unfinished sentence hanging in the air. "Lucy?" she asked gently. Lucy straightened, feeling her heartbeat echo the flickering light on her wall that morning, unsteady, scared, wanting. She forced a smile she didn't fully feel. Never mind." Alma waited a breath longer, a silent invitation for honesty, then let it go with a nod that was almost too understanding. She walked down the hallway toward her room, the same hallway from Lucy's dream, her steps soft and sure. Before disappearing behind her door, Alma looked back at Lucy, just once, briefly, like she was about to say something, but chose not to. The door clicked softly. Lucy remained still in the kitchen, fingers brushing the cracked rim of the mug, her pulse tangled in confusion and something eerily close to longing. The trembling strip of light quivered across the wall again, flickering once, twice, like a secret trying to get her attention. And Lucy finally whispered to herself. "Why did it feel like she already knew me?" She didn't notice that Alma, just beyond the door, had paused with her hands still on the handle, breathing in like she felt the same thing. Lucy woke earlier than usual the next day, long before the apartment filled with the sounds of Madrid waking up, cars rolling over cobblestones, the distant shout of a vendor setting up his stall, pigeons batting their wings against tiled rooftops. She stood in the hallway, barefoot, listening for any sign that Alma was awake. Nothing. Just the smell of citrus and old wood. The trembling strip of light on her wall hadn't appeared that morning, but something else had, an unfamiliar anticipation in her chest, warm and insistent, like someone had nudged her from inside. When she stepped into the kitchen, she found a note taped to the cabinet. Neat handwriting, slightly tilted. Good morning. Going to the university for enrollment. Help yourself to coffee. A. Lucy touched the corner of the note, surprised by how intimate it felt to see Alma's handwriting. She made coffee, poured it into the cracked mug, and caught herself smiling at the steam rising from it. The scent of chamomile from the dishwasher lingered faintly, mixing with the smell of roasted beans. It felt shared. Like they were slowly building something without admitting it. By the time Alma returned, the late morning sun had warmed the apartment, turning the terracotta tiles into a patchwork of gold. Lucy was sitting on the couch, reviewing her class schedule, when she heard the key turn in the lock. Alma stepped inside, cheeks flushed from the heat, a few strands of black hair stuck to her forehead. She looked younger like that, 25 and glowing, eyes bright with a mix of excitement and exhaustion. How'd it go? Lucy asked, trying to sound casual. Chaotic, Alma said with a laugh, dropping her backpack on a chair. But I'm officially enrolled. You? Lucy laughed softly. Still trying to figure out if my Spanish placement test failed me or saved me. Alma leaned against the doorframe, crossing her arms, watching her with an expression that hovered somewhere between amused and intrigued. You'll survive. You look like the type who learns fast. Lucy felt her cheeks warm. Or the type who panics silently. That too, Alma teased, her smile widening. Their banter felt easy, like their personalities had found a rhythm quicker than their words. Alma stepped into the kitchen to grab some water. Lucy followed a second later, drawn by something she couldn't name. Alma reached for a glass, but the cabinet door stuck for a moment. She tugged harder, too hard, and the glass nearly slipped. Lucy reacted without thinking, reaching out to steady it. Their hands didn't touch, but they came close enough that Lucy felt the heat radiating from Alma's skin. Alma froze for a second, her breath catching. That door hates me, Alma said with a nervous chuckle, stepping back. I can fix it, Lucy offered. My dad taught me how to deal with stubborn objects. Alma's eyebrows lifted. You fix things. Lucy shrugged. Sometimes. I like that, Alma said quietly, then looked away as if she hadn't meant to say it out loud. The afternoon passed in tiny moments like that, small shared silences, glances that lingered half a second too long, the gentle rhythm of two people learning the contours of each other's presence. But the obstacle arrived sooner than either expected. I forgot to tell you, Alma said while tying her hair up. I work evenings this semester. A little cafe near Plaza de España. It means I'll be out a lot. The words struck Lucy harder than they should have. Oh. That's good. Busy is good. Alma nodded, but her expression softened. I just don't want you to think I'm avoiding you. Lucy's heart stuttered. Why would I think that? A slow smile crossed Alma's face. Because you look at me like you're trying to figure out if I'm real. Lucy's breath stalled. Do I? Alma didn't answer. She only walked past her, fingers brushing Lucy's elbow lightly as she moved, an unintentional touch, maybe, but enough to send a pulse through Lucy's entire body. That evening, Lucy tried to distract herself by studying in the living room. She heard the shower running. steam drifted down the hallway. The scent of Alma's soap, something warm, like vanilla and amber, floated toward her, filling the apartment with a softness that made it impossible to focus. When Alma appeared, wrapped in a towel, hair wet, Lucy forced her eyes back to her laptop, her pulse stumbling. Alma didn't seem to notice, or maybe she did, because she lingered in the doorway a second longer than needed. "Hey," Alma said, voice gentler than before. "Do you want to split dinner later? I hate eating alone." Lucy nodded too quickly. "Yeah. Sure." "Good," Alma said, turning away with a small smile. "I'll be done in 15. They cooked together, pasta and sautéed vegetables in a tiny pan. Their movements kept colliding, Lucy reaching for the salt at the same time Alma did, Alma brushing past her to grab a spoon, Lucy stepping aside only for Alma to step in the same direction. A quiet dance neither admitted they were performing. At one point, Alma reached for a towel, stretching across Lucy's shoulder. Her chest brushed Lucy's back for the smallest moment, warm and soft. Lucy felt her breath leave her body. Alma froze instantly. "Sorry," she whispered. "It's okay," Lucy whispered back. But neither moved away. A beat. Then another. The air thickened with something neither fully understood but both undeniably felt. They finally stepped apart, each pretending to be more focused on the food than on the electricity threading between them. Over dinner, they talked about everything and nothing, favorite books, worst professors, the strange comfort of late-night walks in unfamiliar cities. Alma spoke with her hands, expressive and warm, and Lucy found herself memorizing the movement like it mattered. When the plates were empty, Alma leaned back in her chair, studying Lucy with a quiet curiosity. "You're different than I expected." Lucy blinked. "Different how?" "I thought you'd be distant. Maybe cold." Alma paused. "But you're softer." Lucy laughed nervously. "Is that a good thing?" "It's a dangerous thing," Alma said, her voice barely above a whisper. Lucy couldn't look away. "For who?" Alma didn't answer. She just held her gaze until Lucy felt something unravel inside her, slow, delicate, inevitable. Later, they washed dishes side by side. Their elbows touched once, then again. Not accidents this time. Just closeness. Deliberate enough to matter, subtle enough to deny. When they dried the last plate, Alma hesitated, cloth in hand, her eyes drifting to Lucy's mouth for the briefest fraction of a moment. It was barely a second. Barely anything. But Lucy felt it like a spark just beneath her skin. Before anything could unfold, a notification buzzed on Alma's phone. She sighed, reading it. "I have to go to work early tomorrow," she said quietly. "They need me to open the cafe." "Oh," Lucy said, feeling something drop inside her. Alma gave her an apologetic smile. "Can we pick this up later?" Lucy nodded. "Yeah. Later." Alma stepped toward the hallway, then stopped halfway, turning back. Her voice softer now. "I meant it, you know." "What?" "That thing about picking it up later." Lucy's pulse kicked. "I did too." Alma held her gaze for a full heartbeat, one slow, warm, unguarded second, before she whispered. "Then, tomorrow." She disappeared into her room, door closing quietly behind her. Lucy remained in the kitchen for a long moment, staring at the empty space where Alma had stood, her heart caught between hope and fear. She whispered into the silence. "Tomorrow." Not knowing that on the other side of the door, Alma whispered the exact same word. Lucy woke to the faint scent of brewed coffee drifting through the apartment, warm and comforting, like someone had been awake long enough to think about her. She pushed back the sheets and stepped onto the cool terracotta floor, feeling the early Madrid air brushing her skin, soft, almost shy. When she reached the kitchen doorway, she paused. Alma stood there with her hair tied loosely, a few strands falling in front of her face. She wore a thin gray t-shirt and black shorts, holding the cracked mug with both hands, as if it were something delicate she was afraid to lose. Morning light brushed along her collarbone, catching a thin gold necklace Lucy hadn't noticed before. "Good morning," Alma said, voice quiet but warm. Lucy swallowed the flutter rising in her chest. Morning. It should have felt normal, two roommates starting their day, but there was something altered between them. Something left open from last night when Alma had said tomorrow. It lingered now, gentle but charged. Alma glanced at the coffee pot. "I made too much. Want some?" Lucy nodded, stepping closer. Their hands brushed as Alma passed her the mug, not by accident. Alma didn't pull away quickly this time. She let their fingers slide slowly, deliberately, as if testing how much closeness the morning light could handle. Lucy held her breath, the warmth of Alma's skin clinging to her even after the touch ended. A moment later, Alma turned to grab a spoon, and her hip bumped Lucy's. Not hard, not clumsy, just enough. Lucy looked up, startled. Alma met her gaze with the smallest smile, almost secretive. "Sorry," Alma said, not sounding sorry at all. Lucy's laugh slipped out, soft, nervous. "It's okay." The apartment felt smaller that morning, walls closer, air warmer, silence filled with things neither dared say. They ate breakfast together at the counter, shoulders occasionally grazing, their knees bumping lightly beneath the bar stools. Every accidental touch sent a ripple through Lucy's chest, as if the distance between them was slowly rewriting itself. Just as Lucy worked up the courage to ask if Alma wanted to go out later, Alma's phone buzzed. She frowned at the screen. "The cafe," she sighed. "The morning shift called in sick. They asked if I can cover." Lucy hid her disappointment behind a small nod. "Do you need to leave now?" "In 20 minutes. Alma hesitated, eyes softening. "Come walk with me. Just to the metro." Lucy agreed more quickly than she meant to. The walk to the station was filled with the warmth of a late morning sun, the smell of roasted chestnuts from a nearby vendor, and the sound of children laughing in the square. Alma walked close, close enough that their arms brushed every few steps. Lucy kept her gaze forward, pretending to watch the pigeons flutter across the plaza, but she felt every bit of that proximity. Halfway to the station, Alma slowed. "Lucy, last night, I didn't mean to make things awkward." "You didn't." Alma searched her face. "Are you sure?" Lucy nodded, though her voice came out quieter than she intended. "I'm sure." Something eased in Alma's expression. Her shoulders relaxed. She stepped closer, not enough to touch, but enough that Lucy felt heat radiating from her body like a whisper. When they reached the metro entrance, Alma hesitated again, tucking her hair behind her ear. "Tonight, maybe we could. I don't know. Take a walk. Cook something again. If you want." Lucy tried not to smile too visibly. "I want." Alma's gaze lingered as if she were memorizing the moment. "Okay. Then, tonight." Lucy watched her descend the metro stairs, disappearing into the moving crowd. It felt like the day had begun with a promise disguised as something simple. That night, the apartment smelled like garlic, rosemary, and something warm simmering in the small pot Alma had started on the stove. Lucy stepped into the kitchen, her heart flipping when she saw Alma barefoot, dancing quietly to the soft music playing from her phone. Her hips moved just enough to make the hem of her shirt lift slightly. Lucy leaned against the doorframe. "You cook and dance. That feels unfair." Alma froze, surprised, then laughed, low and melodic. "I didn't hear you come in. I noticed." Alma blushed faintly. "Come help me." They cooked together again, but tonight something was different. The kitchen felt too warm, too small, every movement choreographed by an invisible thread. Alma reached for the olive oil, brushing Lucy's hand. Lucy stirred the pot, stepping closer than necessary. Their arms slid against each other more than once, and each time neither moved away. At one point, Alma stood behind Lucy to reach the basil on the shelf. Her chest touched Lucy's back, light, barely there. But Lucy felt it like a pulse beneath her skin. Alma's breath warmed the side of her neck. "You okay?" she whispered. Lucy nodded slowly. "Yeah, are you?" Alma took a step back, only enough to see her face. "I'm trying to be." They finished cooking in a silence so filled with tension it felt almost physical. Dinner was soft, warm, comforting, but every time their knees touched beneath the table, it stole Lucy's breath. Alma would look up each time, eyes lingering, as if waiting for Lucy to say something she wasn't ready to say. Later, they washed dishes again, becoming their quiet ritual. Alma rinsed, Lucy dried. Their movements found each other naturally, hands reaching for the same plate, same towel, same pan. Each touch was unintentional by action but intentional in feeling. When Lucy reached for the final glass, her fingers grazed Alma's. Alma didn't pull away. She turned her hand instead, letting their fingers press lightly together. Both froze. Alma's eyes dropped to their hands. "Lucy." Lucy's voice was breathless. "Yeah. I don't want to misunderstand anything." "You're not." Alma lifted her gaze slowly, giving Lucy time to step back. Lucy didn't. Alma leaned in just a fraction, not enough for certainty, but enough for hope. "If we're going to do this, tell me to stop." Lucy swallowed. "I'm not going to tell you that." The air thickened, trembling with something tender and frightening. Alma's fingers curled around Lucy's subtly, their palms slowly meeting, skin warming against skin. Alma stepped closer, hesitant but intentional. Her forehead brushed Lucy's temple. A tiny touch. A seeking, gentle question. Consent in its purest form. Lucy whispered, "It's okay." Alma's breath trembled. Then she tilted her head, just enough that their noses brushed. Soft. Barely there. Their lips hovered, so close Lucy felt the warmth of Alma's breath mixing with hers. Alma paused one last time. "Are you sure?" Lucy nodded. "Yes." Alma's lips touched hers like a sigh, delicate, hesitant, warm. It wasn't a kiss meant to claim anything. It was a kiss that asked, "Is this you too?" And Lucy answered with the smallest press forward, her hand sliding to Alma's cheek, gentle and trusting. The kiss deepened by a heartbeat, just a heartbeat, before both pulled away, breath catching, eyes wide with fear and wonder. Lucy stepped back first, overwhelmed. Alma watched her closely, expression flooding with relief, joy, confusion, all at once. "Lucy," Alma whispered, voice unsteady. I wanted but, I didn't expect." Lucy backed another step, panic mixing with euphoria. I need a second." Alma nodded immediately, giving her space, even though Lucy could see the hurt she tried to hide. "Take all the time you need." Silence stretched between them, fragile, uncertain. Lucy's hands trembled. Alma's chest rose and fell too quickly. And then Lucy whispered, "I liked it." Alma closed her eyes, something hopeful breaking through her fear. "I did too." But when Lucy reached the hallway, something inside her cracked, fear louder than desire. She didn't understand what she was feeling. Or maybe she understood too well. She whispered, almost to herself, "I just need time." Alma nodded again, swallowing hard. "Then we wait." Lucy stepped into her room and closed the door gently, her heart beating too fast, her lips still warm from the kiss. On the other side of the wall, Alma leaned her forehead against the wood, breathing in slowly. Both knew something had shifted. Both were terrified of what came next. Lucy barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt the ghost of Alma's lips, soft, tentative, full of questions Lucy wasn't sure she knew how to answer. The memory pulsed in her chest like the trembling beam of light that had once flickered across her wall, a reminder of everything unsteady inside her. But now the trembling came from her, not the sun. When morning finally arrived, the apartment was quiet. Too quiet. No soft footsteps, no faint clinking of mugs, no humming from the kitchen. The absence felt louder than sound. Lucy stepped into the hallway slowly, her pulse thudding in her ears. The strip of light wasn't trembling today. It fell steady across the tiles, unbroken, too calm for the storm in her chest. Alma's door was open a crack. Not wide, not closed. Just enough to reveal possibility, or distance. Lucy hesitated, hand hovering over the frame, but she didn't push it open. Instead, she turned toward the kitchen, trying to breathe normally. Alma was there, sitting at the table with her hair tied back tightly, shoulders tense, the cracked mug cradled between her palms. Her thumb rubbed the rim, slow circles, nervous circles. The chamomile scent was faint but present, wrapping the room in something warm and fragile. She didn't look up. Lucy's voice barely carried. "Morning." Alma's shoulders stiffened before she finally answered. "Morning." The word came out too even, too rehearsed. Lucy took a step closer. "Can we talk?" Alma nodded, but her gaze stayed fixed on the mug. "I hoped you'd say that." A long silence filled the room, thick enough that Lucy could hear the distant echo of someone closing a window outside, the hum of a scooter on the street, the soft crackle of the old fridge working too hard. Lucy finally sat down opposite her. Their knees didn't touch this time. "About last night," Lucy said. "Yeah," Alma whispered. Another silence. Neither pushed forward. Lucy inhaled slowly. "I wasn't expecting it to happen." "Me neither," Alma admitted. "But I'm not sorry." Lucy's throat tightened. "I'm not either." Alma finally met her eyes, soft, hopeful, scared. The sight made Lucy's chest ache. "Then what's wrong?" Alma asked gently. Lucy looked down at her hands. "I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what it means." Alma shifted in her seat. "What it means for you or what it means for us?" Lucy hesitated. "Both." A flicker of hurt crossed Alma's face before she masked it. She wrapped both hands around the mug, gripping it too tightly, as if it could anchor her. Lucy leaned forward. "Alma, I'm scared." "Of me?" "No. Of myself." Lucy swallowed hard. "Of wanting something I didn't see coming." Alma's voice softened. "Do you think I saw it coming?" "Because I didn't. I was just as surprised as you." Lucy looked up, finally meeting her eyes. "But you handled it better." Alma let out a short breath, almost a laugh. "Do you think I slept last night?" I kept replaying everything. Every second of it. Every breath. Every hesitation. Lucy felt her cheeks warm. "Me too." Their eyes met again, longer this time, but Alma was the one to look away. "So, what now?" she asked, voice fragile. Lucy opened her mouth to answer, but a sharp knock on the front door interrupted them. Both jolted slightly. It was the landlord, Elena, stopping by to drop off updated contract paperwork. Lucy listened as Alma greeted her in the hallway, her voice strained but polite. Elena asked routine questions. "Is the apartment comfortable? Are you settling in? You two getting along?" And Lucy heard Alma hesitate before answering. "Yes. We're getting along." Really well. When Elena left, Alma stepped back into the kitchen, expression stretched tight. That felt like lying, she whispered. We are getting along, Lucy said. Lucy, after last night, it's not just getting along. And pretending it is, Alma shook her head. It hurts. Lucy exhaled shakily. I'm not pretending nothing happened. I just don't know what to do, Alma finished softly. Lucy nodded. The rest of the day continued with a strange distance, like both were afraid to move the wrong way and break what they hadn't even named. Alma left for work earlier than usual, saying she needed extra time. Lucy watched her pull her hair back, tie her apron, grab her bag. Every movement looked heavier. Before leaving, Alma paused at the door, hand resting on the frame. We'll figure it out, right? Lucy wanted to say yes with certainty. She wanted to reach out, touch her arm, offer the reassurance she felt but couldn't articulate. But the words got stuck. Alma. I need time. Just a little. Alma nodded slowly, gaze dropping. Okay. Time. She closed the door behind her, the sound soft but final. That evening, Lucy tried to study, but every page blurred. She tried to cook, but every sound in the apartment reminded her of Alma, her light footsteps, her soft laugh, her humming while stirring a pot. Even the KitchenAid mixer she hadn't touched yet felt like something Alma would joke about someday. Hours passed. Still no sign of Alma. Lucy finally walked down the hallway, compelled by something she didn't fully understand. The light in her room flickered again, trembling, unsteady. The symbol that once meant loneliness now felt like a reflection of her fear. Unstable. Afraid to commit to a shape. She sat on her bed, watching the tremble dance, and whispered, "What if I ruin this?" The answer didn't come from the light, it came from the quiet ache in her chest. She stood, pacing, restless. Eventually she crossed to Alma's door. It was still slightly open, the same crack as this morning. She lifted her hand to knock. She froze. Lowered it. Lifted it. Then lowered it once more, her breath shaking. The hallway felt smaller, darker, heavy with everything unsaid. Lucy pressed her forehead to the frame, whispering, "Just tell me what to do." A rustle sounded inside the room, just a shift of sheets, the softest exhale. Alma was home now. And awake. Lucy stepped back, fear flaring. She retreated to the kitchen, grabbed her notebook, pretended to write even though her hand shook too much. She heard Alma's door open softly. Footsteps paused in the hallway. Then Alma's voice, quiet, tentative. "Lucy." Lucy closed her eyes. She couldn't turn around yet. "Yes," she whispered. Alma stepped closer. Lucy felt the air shift, warm and careful. "Can we talk?" Lucy's grip tightened on the pen. "I don't know if I'm ready." Alma nodded, even though Lucy wasn't looking. "Okay." A long silence followed, one that filled the apartment like a held breath. Alma took a step back. "I'll be in my room. If you want to, talk later." Lucy finally looked over her shoulder. Alma stood there with a softness that broke Lucy's heart, eyes tired, lips parted as if mid-confession, shoulders drawn inward like she was trying to take up less space. Lucy's voice trembled. "Can we talk tomorrow morning?" Alma nodded. "Morning, then." She returned to her room, leaving the door slightly open, not wide, not closed. An invitation waiting for acceptance. Or rejection. Lucy stared at the crack in the doorway, her throat tight with the weight of the choice she hadn't yet made. She started typing a message. "Can we talk now? I'm scared, but I don't want to lose this." She hovered over send. Deleted it. Typed again. Deleted it. Her screen dimmed. Alma's door stayed half open, the promise of a conversation lingering like the trembling light that once lived on Lucy's wall. Unstable. Waiting. The night settled around them, heavy, silent, uncertain, holding a decision suspended in the narrow space between two doors that refused to fully close. Lucy barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt the silence between the two bedrooms like a weight pressing against her ribs, a quiet question she didn't know how to answer. The strip of trembling light on her wall had returned just before dawn, unsteady, flickering, as if reminding her that choice was rarely neat or calm. She lay awake watching it pulse, remembering the warmth of Alma's lips and the fear that rose right behind it. The memory of both sensations lived in her now, tangled together in a way she could no longer separate. She rose slowly, feet touching the cool tile floor, and for a long moment she just stood there, listening to the stillness of the apartment. No footsteps. No mug on the counter. No humming. Only the faint creak of old pipes warming themselves awake. Her breath caught when she noticed the hallway light flicker under Alma's door. A soft glow. Movement. Then stillness again. Lucy hesitated, each step toward the kitchen feeling like an unsteady decision. She didn't know what she would find, or what she would say, but her body moved before her mind could catch up. Alma was there, back turned, staring out the small kitchen window that overlooked the courtyard. Loose strands of hair fell along her neck. She wore a soft navy sweater and jeans, one hand resting on the cracked mug Lucy had grown to recognize instantly. The morning light brushed the edges of Alma's shoulders, warming them with a tenderness that made Lucy's throat tighten. For a moment, Lucy stood in the doorway, just watching her. She wondered how many times she'd avoided this exact moment in her life, not just here, not just with Alma, but anywhere she had ever been asked to feel something honestly. How many times had she stepped away from the trembling light instead of walking into it? She took a breath. Then another. The third one finally carried her voice out. Alma. Alma didn't turn right away, as if steadying herself. When she finally faced her, her expression was calm but shadowed by something fragile. Not anger. Not resentment. Just fear of answering the wrong question. Hey, Alma said softly. Lucy stepped closer, hands clasped in front of her like someone trying to hold her own heart in place. Are you okay? She asked. Alma let out a small laugh, thin, bittersweet. I don't know. I've been trying to be. Lucy nodded slowly. Me too. The silence that followed was different from the ones before, gentler, almost expectant. Alma moved the cracked mug aside, fingers lingering on the rim in a way that made Lucy remember their first morning together, how she had stared at Alma's handwriting, how everything had felt strangely familiar even then. This mug, Alma whispered. I kept thinking about it last night. How you washed it before you knew me. How you were careful with something that mattered to me. She paused, her eyes softening. I keep wondering if maybe you've always been careful with me too. Even when you didn't know how to show it. Lucy felt tears threaten, but she blinked them back. I'm trying. I really am. I just froze. I know, Alma said. I could see it in your eyes. Did it hurt you? Lucy asked, voice barely audible. Alma looked down at the table, her fingers tracing the shape of a crumb. Yes. But not in the way you think. It hurt because I wanted to hold you, and I didn't know if you wanted that too. Lucy stepped closer, slowly, giving Alma time to stop her at any second. When she reached her, she rested a gentle hand on the back of Alma's chair. I wanted to, Lucy whispered. I still do. Alma exhaled shakily, lifting her gaze. Her eyes were full of disbelief and hope and relief all mixed into one impossible expression. You don't have to say that because you feel guilty, she whispered. I'm saying it because it's the truth. Alma searched her face as if trying to memorize every part of it. Then tell me what scared you. Lucy's voice trembled. Wanting something so much that I could lose myself in it. I've never felt this before. Alma rose slowly, closing the distance between them until Lucy could feel her breath. Not touching, just near enough that any movement could change everything. I've never felt this before either, Alma said gently. But maybe we don't need to understand it right away. Maybe we just need to meet each other where we are. Lucy let her forehead rest against Alma's, an intimate, tentative gesture. Alma didn't move away. She only inhaled, letting their breaths mingle, letting their closeness speak for them. Are you still scared? Alma asked. Yes, Lucy whispered. Me too, Alma admitted. The honesty softened something inside both of them. Lucy slid her hand up to Alma's cheek, her thumb brushing lightly along her skin, a touch that felt like a confession. Alma leaned into it, eyes closing for a moment, as if allowing herself to be held was its own kind of choice. Lucy's voice broke the quiet. Can I show you something? Alma opened her eyes. Anything. Lucy took her hand, not tightly, but gently, giving her space to pull away if needed. Alma didn't. Their fingers intertwined naturally, warm and steady, grounding them both. Lucy led her down the hallway into her bedroom. The trembling strip of morning light still flickered on the wall, shifting as the sun moved behind passing clouds. Alma stopped beside her, watching it with a question in her expression. This light, Lucy said quietly. It used to feel like loneliness. Like something I couldn't keep steady no matter how hard I tried. Alma stepped closer, touching Lucy's arms so softly it felt like a brush of wind. And now? Lucy turned toward her. Now it feels like me. Like the part that flickers when I'm scared to want something real. Alma moved behind Lucy, her hands resting lightly on Lucy's arms. Consent, warmth, presence. You don't flicker alone anymore. Lucy closed her eyes as Alma leaned in, placing a soft kiss on her temple, light, reverent, full of promise rather than urgency. It wasn't a kiss meant to claim, it was one meant to steady. Lucy turned slowly, sliding her hands up Alma's waist and stopping just beneath her ribs. Her heart beat against her palms, fast and fragile. Is this okay? Lucy whispered. Alma nodded, her breath catching. Yes. Their lips met again, slow, trusting, full of everything they had been afraid to say. The kiss unfolded gently, with pauses between breaths, with soft sighs and quiet hesitations. Alma's hands reached up to cup Lucy's face, thumbs brushing away the fear Lucy didn't realize she was still holding. Lucy let her forehead rest against Alma's afterward, breathing in the warm, faint scent of chamomile lingering on her skin. Neither spoke for a long moment. They didn't need to. Alma pulled back first, but only enough to look directly at her. Lucy, what do we do now? Lucy laughed softly, tears forming again, but this time they didn't carry fear. We try. One honest moment at a time. Alma smiled, the kind of smile that felt like morning light settling gently on the world. Then stay with me today. Today, and tomorrow, Lucy whispered. If you want. I do. They held each other for a moment longer, letting the calm settle into their bones, a new kind of steady, one made from truth rather than certainty. Later, when Alma stepped into the hallway to call work and ask for the morning off, Lucy lingered in her doorway. The same doorway where she once hesitated. The same narrow space where love had almost slipped away. The trembling light flickered one final time across her wall, not unsteady now, not fearful. It glowed warm and full, reflecting the steadiness she had finally allowed herself to feel. Some lights tremble not because they are weak, but because they are learning how to shine in a new space. And Lucy, for the first time, didn't look away. She stepped out of her room. Alma was waiting for her at the end of the hallway, hand extended, door half open, an echo of the moment that had almost been a goodbye but was now the beginning of something chosen. Lucy walked toward her slowly, steadily, letting the decision unfold in every step she took. When their fingers touched, Lucy whispered, "I'm ready." A soft, silent promise passed between them. And together, they closed the door behind them. Some loves begin as a flicker, and only become steady when we stop running from the light. Lucy looked at Alma's hand in hers, and for the first time in Madrid, she felt completely present. Sometimes the heart recognizes the truth long before the mind is brave enough to follow it. Which part of Lucy and Alma's journey spoke to something inside you? If this story touched your heart, share your truth in the comments. And if this journey stayed with you, please consider subscribing to Secret Garden Stories, leaving a comment, and sharing it with friends, forums, and social media. Your support helps this channel grow and build a world with more love and less prejudice. Tulip. Thank you for being here.